Hello and welcome to this new video in our OpenComputers tutorial series. I'm Lord Yoda and I'm here with Sangar, the lead developer of OpenComputers, and Daka Total, our cameraman. In this video we will be concentrating on the changes that happened in the 1.3 update, and I would say let's go into it.
Right, so this will be basically the remaining features that were added in 1.3 before the change was made to 1.4. That happened after the last update video. So the first thing, which is relatively minor but still worth mentioning, is that additionally to computer cases and screens, which could already be dyed before, so if you had like, I don't know, black color, you could color it black or gray or whatever you wanted. This also works for cables now, so you can color your cables whatever you want. The main benefit of this is that unless they're light gray, which is the default color, they will not connect to cables that have a different color. So basically everything connects to gray, to light gray, but not to other colors otherwise. So you can run pipes in parallel, which can be quite useful if you're running out of space or something. So that works quite well, right?
To reset the color to light gray, do you have to use the an item?
The light gray dye, yes, exactly.
So
you
there
have
is
the
no unpainter kind of thing?
No, but well, you can just break it and place it again. That will also work.
Oh, okay.
Because the dye isn't consumed when painting it, because, well, yeah, exactly because of that, because it doesn't get saved when you break the block, so, right. Okay, so that's that.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's
also you can make nice color items.
Yeah,
and
modern art.
Yeah, definitely.
So the other thing was that in the previous video, one of the previous videos, I mentioned that if you wanted to rotate holograms by 90 degrees, you have to actually change your code to output the data in rotated form. This is no longer necessary, so if you have anything that's wrench-like, so like just Buildcraft wrenches or Industrial Craft wrenches or hammers for thermal expansion or Railcraft crowbars, anything like that, you can rotate these now by 90 degrees. So just right-click them on the top. If you right-click them on the side, it won't work. You have to right-click them on the top or the bottom, and then you can rotate them to whatever you need them to face. So this is quite useful if you have, say, something that displays text or anything like that. It's easier to just orientate it the way you want it to be. Yeah. So also just a minor little addition, but still worth mentioning.
Yeah, I think that's nice. You can then also build two statues from holograms that are in front of each other.
Yeah, with the same code. Yeah, that's the main thing that you can. You don't have to code around the limitations there anymore. So that's just a little usability feature, basically. So the bigger feature that was added in 1.3, which was mostly developed by you here, right, was that robots can now store fluids and interact with fluids in the world and in tanks. So there are two new items, which I cleverly forgot to place somewhere, which is the tank upgrade and the tank controller upgrade. So these two basically act like the inventory upgrade and the inventory controller upgrade for, well, normal items, but for fluids. So one tank upgrade can store a single type of fluid, up to 16 buckets of that fluid, and has to be installed in the robot to work, of course. And the tank controller upgrade basically fills a similar role to the inventory controller upgrade. It just adds some additional options for interoperation with fluids and tanks for the robots. So this robot here has a built-in tank and a built-in tank controller, so I can go ahead and pull fluids from this tank. So you see here's the valve of the tank in front of the robot. So I can then go ahead and say robot.drain, which will pull out some fluid from that tank in front of it. And so we see now this pulled 250 millibuckets from this tank. So if I enable Whaler again, we will see that there's now 117,750, whatever. And if I do it again, there's a little less in there after the tooltip updates sometime now. Right. So that's the call to pull fluids from tanks, basically. So the equivalent to suck and the equivalent to drop is the fill command. So that will put the fluids back into the tank.
I think you can also specify amount, if I'm not mistaken.
Exactly. So if I go ahead and call drain with, let's say I want the full, to fill the tank completely, the internal one, I can do this, and it ignores it completely. Well, that's too bad. I was wondering about the 250 anyway, but usually for the tanks I did test it before with it worked. I'll have another look. Maybe it's something I broke somewhere along the lines.
Well,
anyway,
I did it completely, it worked. I know that.
It should work, but whatever. If it still doesn't work when you try it, go to GitHub and report it as a bug. Right, so the tank control upgrade now is used to actually basically allow filling stuff from the tank that's built into the robot, so the tank upgrades, into other tank items. So if you actually, I don't know if you have anything that's a tank item in this mod pack. Let's, oh right, buckets should work. Let's get a bucket.
Fluid cells.
Fluid cells might also work. Let's try buckets because I know buckets work. So minor disclaimer, there's a bug in this version where the selected slot is used incorrectly, so I have to put the bucket into the slot that's 4 ahead of the selection. So if I go ahead and use the tank controller and tell it to fill whatever is in my inventory, so I could also use again an amount here, but because buckets only use only use units of 1000 or nothing, it's useless. Oh, also I have probably to get some more to actually fill it, because currently, yep, that should be enough, right? So let's try this again. Component tank controller fill. This should fill the water into the bucket. So it's in here now, and the opposite works also. I can then drain it from the container item again. So this is using the tank controller upgrade and the normal operations, so the robot.drain and robot.fill. This works with the normal tank upgrade as soon as that is installed. If you have multiple tank upgrades installed, you can select which tank to use, similar to which inventory slot to use by using the select tank command. So calling it with no parameters tells you which one is currently selected, and calling it with any one, you can select another one. I only have one installed now, so the index 2 is invalid. If I install a second one, it should allow me to do that. Yes. So now it's basically this one that's selected, the one down here. Right. Let me think. Anything else? Oh, right. One more thing. You can also use the tank upgrades to place and suck items from the world. So if I think it's, yes, it's an internal tank again. So if I select the first one again, and let's say I go, well, no, let's just break the block below the robot, and if I go ahead and say fill down, it should do that. Is the whoops, not what I wanted, not what I wanted. Fill down, isn't that right? Tank is empty. Why is the tank empty? Is the tank empty? What did I do wrong now? Which tank is selected? The first one. Now I'm confused. Let's drain some more fluid. And it should work. Now let's try this. There we go. So you can also place fluids in the world, and you can suck them up again by draining the blocks. So that also works. So can you basically use robots as the pump if you want. That will also work. Okay.
For questioning reason. If I would remove this tank upgrade, where is fluid stored in it, and I would put it into another robot, would the fluids be transferred as well, or?
Yes. So unlike the inventory upgrades where the complete inventory spills if you remove it from the robot or break the robot, the tank contents are actually stored. So if you have a tank that contains 16 buckets of water and remove that tank upgrade and place it into another robot, then that robot will now have 16 buckets of fluid in it. So yes, the contents are stored in the upgrade itself, actually.
Okay.
Okay, any other things I might have forgotten?
I think you mentioned it, but to be safe, to say it again, only one fluid type can be stored in one tank upgrade, but of course if you have two tank upgrades you can store two different kind of fluids.
Exactly. And I think there's also methods for, let's see, what was it? Can I do just that? Yes, so there's also the similar methods to compare and transfer stuff for fluids, so you can compare fluids to fluids in the world and fluids in other tanks and transfer fluids in between tanks as long as the type of the fluid is the same or the other tank is empty. Right, that's fluids, I think, for the most part.
Well, someone did a great job with that. Oh,
someone, yes, someone totally not present right now and standing in front of me. No. Yes, exactly. So that's that. Good. So far, so how are we with time?
11 minutes, so we have...
So we still have time. Wonderful. So then there's one more thing. I already have it in here. We know the Geolyzer already, the block that allows scanning the world for blocks. Surprise. It is now also a valid upgrade. So you can place it into a robot, and then you can use it while on the go. So basically all the functions that are available when it's placed somewhere are also available on the robot. So if I go ahead and let's say want to see which method do we pick? There's, which one was it? Scan? I'm not sure anymore. Alright, analyze. Right. So if you want to know which block exactly is it that is in front of us, so that would be north. So on the, wait, no, actually side's front. Huh. We get an error. What side? Not side, sides. Yes. It will tell us what kind of block that is in front of us. Right, and scan also works, so you can scan entire columns of blocks to see the densities of those blocks. Right, so that's that. It can also be used in what we are getting to now, which is the final big change in 1.3, which are tablets, which are finally out of beta, basically. So they have been around for a while, but, well, not very official. So they were kind of, they were there and ready for testing, but, you know.
Unannounced.
Yes, little sort of pseudo-secret. So these are official now. You can build a tablet case. So these are crafted normally, like any other item, and then you put it into the assembler. And then you configure your tablet and build it like you would a robot. So let's throw in some components here. So this hard drive already has OpenOS installed on it. You will need some kind of OS when you build your tablet, or you have to copy it over afterwards. So, well, let me build this first. I hope I didn't forget anything. There we go. And if I right-click it while I hold it in my hand, I now can start it up, and now I have a running computer in my inventory. So all the things that normally you would expect to... Oh, right, I did forget something. Haha. Okay, let's do this again. I forgot the keyboard. I need this. I need... of course, I didn't prepare another hard drive, so I need to install it. Oh, let's steal this one. Wait, this won't fit in there. Okay, let's install OpenOS real quick. In the meantime, I can prepare the other stuff.
So why are you copying it on a hard drive?
Because it doesn't have a floppy slot. So if you want it to boot up, you need an operating system, and the tablet case, as you might see, does not have a floppy slot, so you need a hard drive. What you can also do is install it afterwards, because when you place a tablet inside, let's not forget the keyboard this time, place the tablet into a charger, which I obviously don't have anywhere around right now. Charger, there we go. Let's place this here real quick. So if you look inside the charger, this has an inventory slot now, which you can see on the icon in the background is for tablets. So to charge tablets, you put them in the charger, so they have an internal energy storage, of course, and there you can, recharge them. And this also acts as sort of a disk drive for tablets. So basically, this allows access to the hard drive built into the tablet by computers connected to this charger. So if I were to, where's my hard drive? There's my hard drive. This is done. Is this done? Yes, this is done. Okay. Put this in here and assemble it again, and hope I didn't forget anything this time. And have a look at the, nope, please don't reboot, and please have your hard drive back. The connected, well, let's do this, the connected file systems, and put it in here, and then compare that. We'll see that there's now a new one. Wait, let's do this again. Which one is the new one? This one, the 68. So this is the hard drive that is installed in our tablet, and we can read and write data to and from it from this computer now. So if you need to do any changes or copy data from it to the tablet without having, let's say, a wireless network card in it, you can do this also while it's in the charger.
So basically the charger is now a USB drive.
It's a docking station, basically.
Docking
yeah.
station, yeah.
Yes, exactly. So let's see, if I start it up now, I should be able to type. Yes, I can. Okay, great. So that works. And I also did install, which is the final new thing, the piston upgrade in it. So this upgrade acts basically like a vanilla piston. It can push blocks, the same blocks vanilla pistons can push, so no tile entities and stuff like that, but just normal blocks, and only up to, I can't quite remember, I think 12 blocks at a time or something like that. And if I go ahead and open this, so this upgrade works in pretty much anything that's mobile, so I can use it in a robot, in a tablet. Yes, so let's see, which block do I want to push? Let's go here. And if I go into here and say component piston, so let's just print the available methods, which are not many, it's just one, it's the push method. And if I call this, whoops, it pushes the block in front of me.
Yeah,
so,
a mobile piston.
Yep, it's a mobile piston in your inventory, basically. And it can also be used by robots, of course. So robots can push blocks around too if they want to. So that is tablets. Final note regarding behavior of tablets. So unlike normal computers, including robots and servers and stuff, these will in fact power down when you log out. So they will not continue running if you leave the game and go back in again. The main reason for that is that, for example, if you're playing on a server, the tablets are kept running by the inventory of the player that contains it. So if you put it in a normal inventory, for example, like a chest or anything, they will stop running after a while. If the player that basically drives these tablets leaves, which is you, they will also automatically stop. So yeah, when you leave the game and come back, they will most likely be stopped. Another scenario where they will stop is if you change dimensions. So if you go from like the overworld to the nether, then they will have stopped and you will need to restart them. That's a few of the limitations, which are just, well, to keep me sane, basically. Yeah, but it's still I think, good enough for most things. And if you have, let's say, a wireless network card in it, those work too, of course. So then you can remote control stuff using tablets now, which is pretty fancy. And those were, I think, the big upgrades that were left in 1.3 after the last video before the next big update.
Yeah, and of course, we have discussed many things that were new, but also we, well, kind of assumed that you know the old update stuff. So in case some things were not clear to you, please take a look at the older videos.
Yes.
And then maybe take a look at this video again.
Exactly. So in particular stuff like the, let's say, the operating systems and stuff like that. So one thing that obviously popped up now, although it came after the 1.3 version, were the EEP ROMs. So this little item I put into stuff, you may have noticed. So that's a bit newer. We will talk about that in the next few updates. Just ignore it for now. Or watch the next videos.
Yes, do that.
Do that.
Watch the next video.
Yes, do that.
Okay.
Okay, so, I think that's it for now.
So, thank you very much for watching. And until next time.
See you.
See you.